The fourth plenary session has just opened, and Beijing is in turmoil. Hundreds of military vehicles rolled through 5 provinces overnight, 37 generals were reportedly purged, rumors say Qin Gang is returning. The capital appears to be in a wartime posture, a citywide flight ban, with balloons and sky lanterns prohibited. Signals of a diplomatic comeback, a collapse inside the military, and a sweeping lockdown in Beijing. All this looks less like stability maintenance and more like the prelude to a loss of control. Don't miss the next drop, subscribe and enable the bell. As the CCP's fourth plenum opens in Beijing today, the political world had already fallen into disorder the day before. 3 scenes exploded simultaneously: a man missing for 2 years reappeared, the military's top ranks were collapsing, and the capital was being sealed. Scene 1, former Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang, missing for 2 years, suddenly showed up at the Beijing Music Festival, red tie, center stage group photos, a calm smile. This was no candid shot but an official event. The photos went viral worldwide. On the eve of the fourth plenum, he resurfaced. Scene 2, a massive earthquake in the military. 9 generals had just been expelled, then came reports that 4 more generals, 9 lieutenant generals, and 15 major generals were ousted all at once. Even Xi Jinping's close aide, Zhong Xiaojun, was on the list. This is not rectification, but a purge of one's own people. Scene 3, Beijing skies under a blanket flight ban. Balloons, sky lanterns, drones, everything is prohibited. Meanwhile on the ground, highways filled with military trucks and armored vehicles rolling through the night. Fujian, Hunan, Shaanxi. People gasped, "Are we going to war?" Diplomacy revived, the military collapsing, and the capital locked down. As the fourth plenum begins, the barometric pressure over Beijing is off the charts. Qin Gang reappears. On October 19, Beijing's political scene sent out an unexpected signal. Qin Gang, the former PRC foreign minister missing for more than 2 years, appeared publicly at the Beijing Music Festival. Multiple photos of Qin spread rapidly on X. He wore a dark suit and red tie, looked composed, and stood center in group photos, one with 3 people, another with 9. The backdrop read, "The 28th Beijing Music Festival, themed, tracing romance, straight to the present, dated, October 17, 2025. An English-born Chinese pianist, one of the evening's headliners, was also visible. Public information shows the 28th festival is hosted by the Beijing municipal government from October 10 to 24. Judging by the framing and backdrop across several photos, Qin's appearance was clearly an organized, official presence rather than a random private outing caught by passers-by. Other circulating photos show Qin in a casual t-shirt at what looks like an exhibition with booths lining the road and some foreign vendors. Anti-CCP influencer Jiang Wangzheng claimed Qin is working at Chinese National Geography. The Washington Post previously cited a former U.S. official saying Qin had been assigned to the World Affairs Press under China's foreign ministry. These are his first images since June 25, 2023. Last August, Gao Zhikai, a CCP think tank official and former interpreter for Deng Xiaoping, told Al Jazeera about Qin, "You will never see him again." Qin's resurfacing on the eve of the fourth plenum quickly ignited overseas discourse. Some believe the timing was no accident. On October 13, former Shanghai entrepreneur Hu Liren claimed on his video channel he'd received reliable word that Qin would make a comeback as foreign minister. He argued the CCP has never officially defined Qin, no prosecution, no disciplinary notice, which in CCP parlance signals the person hasn't been fully discarded but shelved for later use. Hu said Qin might return after the plenum or at the 21st Party Congress. If so, this reappearance likely primes public opinion for reinstatement. The logic isn't baseless. The diplomatic system has shown up a vacuum of late. Wang Yi seems overstretched, China ties are stalled, and with Donald Trump's renewed hardline, Beijing needs a stable face acceptable to Washington and internal factions. Qin, once seen as the youngest potential vice-national level official and Xi's most trusted diplomatic spokesman, fits that symbolic role. Yet his comeback may not mean Xi's position is firm. It could signal a balancing current. In recent weeks, mid-level diplomats and think tank voices have quietly pivoted toward stabilizing the external environment and easing U.S. China tensions. Qin's return may embody this mood. Whether this is a sign of pardon or utility remains unknown. The gun barrel out of control, Xi's army collapsing. While diplomacy shows signs of big tent outreach, an unprecedented purge has erupted in the military. On October 17 the Defense Ministry announced the expulsion from party and army of 9 generals. Within 24 hours a larger list surfaced online. According to commentator Kai Shinkuan on X, October 18, another 4 generals, 9 lieutenant generals, and 15 major generals were removed. Named were Equipment Development Department Minister General Su Xiueqiang, Joint Operations Command Deputy Chief of Staff General Su Qiling, Rocket Force Political Commissar General Su Shisheng, and National Defense University President General Xiao Tianliang. Also listed, CCDI Deputy Secretary for the CMC Lieutenant General Zhou Jianqin, former CMC Office Director and current NDU Political Commissar Lieutenant General Zhong Xiaojun, Southern Theater Deputy Commander/Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Jia Jiancheng, Northern Theater Deputy Commander Lieutenant General Zhao Zhidan, and PAP Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Zhou Jiangwo, among others. Kai said, the so-called Xi army formed after the 20th Party Congress has basically been wiped out. The purge cuts across core systems, equipment development, rocket force, theater commands, and the National Defense University, touching strategic decisions, operational command, and political education. Analysts say this is not a disciplinary cleanup but a systemic reconfiguration of military power. Note the presence of Zhong Xiaojun, no traditional commander but Xi's core aide and brain, who followed Xi from Zhejiang to Shanghai to the center and was placed as CMC General Office Director, controlling paperwork, personnel recommendations, and political liaison, the nerve center of Xi's faction, the last gate to Xi. If even someone of this rank and background is being dealt with, in CCP terms it usually means not that Xi is cleaning others, but that he is being cleaned. As the second purge list circulated, on October 19 the website of the CCP Central Political Legal Commission, China Chang'an Net, updated its Leadership and Organs page, showing former PAP Commander Wang Chunning had been formally removed as a PLC member. This means the general, announced October 17 as suspected of serious job crimes, has been fully erased from the political legal system, making him, after Wang Jianping, another PAP commander to fall since 2012. Wang Chunning, 62, from a military family, son of former Nanjing Mr. Deputy Political Commissar Lieutenant General Wang Yongming, is a classic red second generation. Elevated repeatedly under Xi, he had been absent from key PLC and public security meetings since the 2023 two sessions, fading from public view until now. Commentator Wang Youchuan says Wang's fall is a major political blow to Xi. Xi restructured the PAP to place it solely under the CMC to ensure loyalty. Yet even a commander personally promoted by Xi has fallen, showing persistent instability in the knife-handle system. From He Weidong and Miao Hua to Wang Chunning and Su Xiueqiang, purges come in waves. The military and political legal pillars of stability are cracking simultaneously. Beijing's no-fly order and highways full of military trucks. As the military shook, transportation and airspace anomalies appeared nationwide. Since October 16, videos show convoys of military trucks, armored vehicles, and troop carriers on highways across Fujian, Shandong, Guangdong, Hunan, Shaanxi. Helicopters hovered low over some areas. Locals asked, is there going to be a war? Why all these armored cars? Explanations vary. The X account Dirun Media says convoys moved along strategic routes, tightly arrayed, traveling at night/early morning, suggesting inter-theater redeployment or combat readiness drills. Others note the sensitive timing, with the plenum in session and a massive military purge ongoing. Simultaneous movements across provinces look like an extension of power struggles or preventive measures, preemptive military deployment to forestall loss of control. Some think the actions test internal loyalty, temporary marches, drills, and lockdowns to check theater command's obedience. Historically, during intensified elite struggles, unusual troop movements often signal political wins. Meanwhile, Beijing raised security to the maximum. On the night of October 18, the Public Security Bureau announced a citywide airspace ban from midnight October 19 to 2400 hours October 23, prohibiting the release of balloons and sky lanterns. The entire municipality is controlled airspace for unmanned aircraft, no drone flights without ATC approval, with violations treated as endangering public safety. The ban and troop movements appearing together led many to conclude Beijing has adopted wartime-level stability measures for the plenum. Pre-meeting air bans are not new, but this time even balloons and sky lanterns are forbidden, an unusually broad scope. Analysts say the symbolism outweighs safety. Beijing has entered a zero-risk mode, treating any drifting object, capable of attracting attention or symbolizing prayer, as a potential destabilizer. Under the capital sky, not even one sky lantern may rise. On the highways, columns of military vehicles roll through the night. The eerie contrast between stillness and motion is the most accurate portrait of today's political pressure. The silence and imbalance of power. From diplomacy to the military, from the center of power to the capital sky, the CCP is entering a state of outward stillness and inner convulsions. All signs point to the same fact: on the eve of the fourth plenum, Zhongnanhai is trying to mask deep imbalances with extreme control. Diplomacy is big tent, the military is purging its own, the capital is locking down every uncertainty. This is not a sign of stability but of a power system retracting at the threshold. Whatever the plenum's outcome, the regime's tension and anxiety are already plain to see.